So now that the inside is all cleaned out, it's time to do the outside. You might be tempted to think, instead of getting car quality products, you'll just use dishwashing detergent. Don't. And the easiest way I can put it is, would you wash your hair with dishwashing detergent for the sink? The answer, I hope, is no. You wouldn't wash your dog with it. Don't wash your car with it. Get proper products. Doesn't mean it has to be expensive. This is like 10 bucks a bottle, not sponsored. You can get really cheap stuff for like $1, $2, and it's going to be formulated for a car, and it's not going to ruin your paint. And it will ruin your paint if you're not using the right stuff. The reason is that household cleaning chemicals are designed to remove grease, wax, grime off whatever surface you're trying to clean. Car paint, on the other hand, not this one in particular because it's pretty shabby, but car paint has a protective layer of wax. So you may have heard people say, wax and polish your car once you're done. I'm not doing that today. I don't have the time. But if you're using household cleaning products, it will strip those layers of wax back. It'll look clean initially, but after a little while, the paint goes dull and grimy, which is exactly what's happened to this car. Which means, eventually, you need to repaint it. And that is expensive. No bueno. Don't do that. So on that note, I've come up with a helpful acronym for anyone who's wondering about what order you should go about cleaning things in, because there is an ideal order. If you get it wrong, you can start letting water into the interior and do things like that. Easy to remember, it's Subaru. Subaru. So what you do is you start by cleaning the outside of the car, then you move on to the wheels, the tires, you do all the... Okay, I hear what you're saying, Subaru. A little bit hard to remember. Instead, let's go with a different one. Wash it. So what does W stand for? Wheels. Wheels. See how filthy this is? That's all, not just road dirt, that's brake dust that starts to come off and starts to do that. Underneath this grime, the wheels aren't bronze, they're silver. So first step, wheels. Let's get this clean. You can use an appropriate product like a wheel cleaner or a spray-on wheel cleaner. I quite like Bowden's wheel cleaner. Bowden's, whatever, Australian brand. They don't do testing on animals, that kind of stuff, but it's kind of expensive. It's like 25 Australian dollars for a small bottle. So if you're in doubt, get yourself some brake cleaner and absolutely hose the crap out of it. And let that soak for a while. Don't breathe this. Brake cleaner is basically petrol. And you just let that sit for a little bit. If you like, you can do the rubber as well. Try not to get that on your paint, because like I said, it is just straight petrol. It will rip the wax layer off your paint. Don't do that. So now that you've had the dirt and the grime and the grease loosened up with the cleaner, you want to get in with a heavy batch of soap, like super, super frothy. Now the idea here is that you're just trying to just get rid of all those little particles and get it all cleaned off. It's also super satisfying when you take the brush and you run it across these super dirty areas and you can just see the shine coming out underneath. These wheels are particularly dirty, like particularly nasty. So it's going to take a few goes, I imagine, to get each one properly clean. seats, wheels are done. Now you can move on to the body. The thing is, especially if the car is heavily soiled like this one is, like there is bird crap on it everywhere, you need to soak it with a heavy soap solution. Again, not dishwasher soap, and certainly not the soap that you just used on the wheels, because that is filled with all of the grit and grime and road dust from your wheels. So toss that out and put these somewhere where they're not going to come in contact with your paint. So the next step is to soak it, S for soak. What we're going to use for this, if you don't have a pre-wash or a soaking agent, get your wash and wax or your wash, and you ignore whatever the directions are here. Here it says 3 caps into bucket, mix thoroughly. You want to basically double that. You just want really heavy soap suds, because you're not actually going to wash the car in this next step. You're just going to coat it top to bottom with suds, and you want to let the car soak. If it's a really warm day, you'll probably want to do it in sections, like maybe the bonnet, the front guards and the bumper. But today, pretty cool, not too much sun. I think we'll be right to soap up the entire car. The S in wash, it stands for soaked, and if you're not soaked by the time you've done this step, you've probably done it incorrectly. But once it's all been sitting for a few minutes and you've got pretty good coverage across the entire car, you do not pick up your scrubbers, your microfiber cloths and start cleaning, because all of that crap is still sitting there, literally in this case. What you want to do is take your pressure washer or a household hose, take a bit of distance, and just blow it all off. You want to wash all of the dirt, everything that's there, off the car. Just knock it off. That's the next step. You've soaked it, you've washed it off, fantastic. It's kind of second nature to now want to pick up a cloth and start scrubbing. But I always recommend you use a 2-bucket method. Bucket 1, bucket 2. Bucket 2 is just filled with nice cold water. No soap, just cold water. Bucket 1 is where you have your soap. Mix according to instructions or to whatever you feel like. I'm not going to judge. You've got your 2 buckets, cold water, soap. So what do you want to do? Well, you dip your microfiber mitt into the soapy water, wash the car, panel at a time, and when you feel the soap start to let go, you rinse it in your just plain water bucket. And then you go back to your soap. Why do you do this? You're cleaning dirt and particles off the car. When you're cleaning dirt and particles off the car, they're ending up in this mitt. So if you don't rinse the cloth out thoroughly, what will end up happening is you just scrape the surface of the paint with dirt and like little bits of gravel and all that crap that your car picks up just from day-to-day use. So soak, wash, rinse, repeat. So a detailer once told me you should never wash your car in circular motions. The reason being the same reason why we use two buckets. If I'm picking up dirt and grime and I'm wiping and washing in a circular motion, I'm creating circular patterns in the paint. So try and stick to horizontal motions or vertical motions, but don't use circular motions. This bonnet is kind of fucked, so I'm not expecting there to be any huge miracles. It's been hit. I unfortunately wounded some native wildlife. I have a new bumper and a new bonnet that I can fit, but this isn't the time for that. So you're done scrubbing. Great. What you want to do is now wash it off from the top down. Washing the suds from the top of the vehicle down to the bottom. Now you can just take the opportunity after you've hand washed to have a look over everything and just make sure that it is actually clean to the standard you want. This is not perfect, but this car gets used for all kinds of things. I take it to the tip, I tow stuff with it, I go off-road, I go on dirt tracks. This is acceptable for me. Maybe you will want to go over it again and rinse it down again. Just follow the same process multiple times. So the next step is the interior. And my God, do I have a lot of work ahead of me here. As you can see, this has been used for everything. I've transported dirt, I've transported seeds. Someone decided that they liked my stereo more than me at one point. So, you know, I hope it's living a good life at a farm upstate. Step one of interior, vacuum. Just get in, remove everything, blow all the dust off, remove all the spider webs, get it cleaned out as best you can. Don't try and jump in and use heavy duty carpet cleaner or anything like that. Step one, you'll gas yourself. Step two, it'll almost always make it look worse. So the truth of the matter is, this car really needs a proper carpet cleaner. It's so dirty, and it's been this kind of dirty since I've got it. So, you know, it's really grained in there. I'll do the best I can. We'll be able to at least compare it, but sometimes you need specialist tools, and I haven't got that. So I went through all of that to vacuum and dust. Then I realized something. This is how you get access to the spare wheel and everything. So I could have just, I don't know, done this, taken the whole thing out, you know, making it a fair bit easier. Bit like that, huh? Oh shit. This should be satisfying. When you're cleaning your car and parts are falling off it, don't stress, just get on with it. Sometimes the parts that fall off are more important than other parts. So, we've gone through and we've washed it. We've done the wheels and the tyres. We have soaked it, hand washed it, vacuumed the interior. Normally with the interior, what you would do about this point is spray it down with an interior appropriate cleaner. So a vinyl cleaner and protectant, a plastic cleaner and protectant, or if you're fancy and you've got like a BMW or something, a leather cleaner and protectant. But I've run into a slight problem before the T, and the T is tidy up. By tidy up, that's all the things that don't fit into that category that are little things that are left. So cleaning your glass or cleaning the rubber, whatever there might be. In this case, the carpets are trashed. I need to get a wet cleaner and come in and really suck all the goo out of the carpet. It's really bad. So that's where I'm gonna have to stop for now, but if you like this, next time I'll come through and show how to use a wet and dry carpet cleaner. Bye.